Sparking Zero's new DLC is now just days away, bringing tons of new characters and stages for the community to use in the various modes, and for a lot of you to use in custom battles. But before it drops and everyone starts exploring what it has to offer, let's take a look at even more custom battles that you guys have sent in to me. If you're new here, I've spent the last 8 months showcasing the community's creations in this mode to help keep it alive and thriving. And many creators and fans have sent in their own custom stories and even full-on arcs. Today, I have another set of one-shots for everyone, so sit back, grab a snack, and let's jump into it. We open this scenario with Goku visiting Bulma during the 3-year training period for the androids, but as he touches down, a mysterious energy output from her latest invention malfunctions and sends Goku spiraling into another timeline. He wakes up on planet Vegeta, crashing directly into the paths of Bardock and Guinea. Bardock quickly recognizes that this adult warrior is his son Kakarot and challenges him to test how strong he's become. By this point in the timeline, being called Kakarot doesn't faze Goku and pretty much confirms his suspicions of who this man is. This battle features a branching path. If you beat Bardock using only Goku's base form, the scenario wraps up early until episode 2. However, if you choose to transform into a Super Saiyan, the massive power output gets noticed planet-wide. Bardock stands stunned at the sight of the legendary form his son holds. After a very much one-sided match, Bardock surrenders, acknowledging he stands no chance against this level of power. The massive energy spike alerts Frieza's scouter up in orbit, baffled by a power reading on planet Vegeta that far exceeds his own. Frieza flies down to investigate, only to be shocked that a low-class Saiyan possesses it. Recognizing Frieza's energy signature, Goku gets eager for a rematch. Bardock shouts at Goku to fall back, but Goku steps up ready to beat Frieza a second time. Frieza decides he can't pull any punches here and transforms directly into his final form, and Goku transforms right back into a Super Saiyan. Frieza's attention goes straight to Goku's eyes, left stunned by what he's witnessing here. He doesn't want to believe that this might be the legendary Super Saiyan. Everyone present watches in disbelief as Kakarot puts the strongest man they ever known to exist on the defensive with ease. Frieza can barely deal with the flurry of incoming attacks and desperately attempts to power up to 100%, but Goku catches a clean opening and now knowing Frieza won't change his evil ways, decides to obliterate him, freeing the Saiyans from his grip and saving planet Vegeta in the process.
I've got you! Here it comes! Take this! You fool!
As the smoke begins to clear, 2 figures descend from the sky, Lord Beerus and his attendant Whis. Beerus is surprised that Saiyan managed to defeat Frieza, recognizing that this warrior matches the figure from the Saiyan prophecies. Eager to test Goku's strength himself, Beerus charges in and flicks Goku into a nearby cliff before anyone can react, leaving him a bit disappointed that a battle with the legendary Super Saiyan ended so soon. Struggling back to his feet, Goku senses a massive surge of power rising from deep within, keeping him from passing out. Beerus charges one more time to finish the fight, but Goku refuses to go down. That surge of dormant power fully erupts, transforming him into a Super Saiyan 4. Now fast enough to match Beerus head-on, Goku pushes the battle into its final phase. He is now at a completely different level of power that he would have ever been at this point, now easily trading blows with the God of Destruction. Goku's ready to end this match and charges up a ×10 Kamehameha. While the blast deals no real damage to the deity, Beerus has seen enough and calls off the match, now impressed by the mortal's power. Bardock and Guinea can only look at their son with immense pride. With the fight concluded, Goku says his goodbyes and departs with Whis and Beerus to return to his original timeline, leaving Bardock deeply inspired to train and reach his son's level of strength. I know some of you might be thinking this story feels completely absurd, and it definitely is way out there, but that's the entire charm here. Dragon Ball video games have a long history of bizarre alternative scenarios. Remember when Goku unlocked Super Saiyan 4 during the Buu Saga and Budokai 3? Or when Krillin grew his hair and killed Frieza on Namek in the DS Butoden Kai game? It's wild, nonsensical fun, and it feels like it would fit right in as a what if in a game during the Battle of Gods era. The story just needs a little bit of extra dialogue, but I think it stands out as a really entertaining one-shot. In this reality, Paragus tosses his goals of getting revenge on Prince Vegeta aside, shifting his focus towards getting payback for the destruction of the Saiyan race and their home planet. Now following the events of Earth, Frieza learns about the Dragon Balls, and lands on planet Namek. But the Frieza force is tailed from the shadows. Moments after exiting their ship to hunt down the Dragon Balls, Paragus and Broly emerge, and Paragus sends Broly to attack the army. Frieza dispatches Zarbon and Dodoria to handle the disturbance, tossing them aside just as some monkeys. After reading Broly's initial power level, both soldiers start to dismiss him, until Paragus allows Broly to start letting loose. Despite sensing his insane strength, they both still believe they can handle a Saiyan. It takes little time for Dodoria to be eliminated. Zarbon steps up to take down the Saiyan, but Broly's power scales rapidly as Paragus allows him to tap deeper into his power, and just like Dodoria, Zarbon is turned into ash. Paragus watches this massive spike in power and enjoyment, realizing Broly can handle Frieza without issue, but he's not aware of what Frieza's hiding. With his top lieutenants now dead, Frieza steps up to test the Saiyan's mettle himself. Unwilling to hold back, he aims to finish this quickly and return to his plan of securing the Dragon Balls. He transforms into his second form and rushes the Saiyan, but Broly is still far too powerful, easily holding Frieza back and impressing him that a Saiyan can be this strong. Frieza, realizing he can't hold off any longer, is forced into his next transformation. The third form that Frieza has does much better this time around, dodging Broly easily and leaving the restrained Saiyan struggling to keep up. Realizing Broly might not survive the assault aimed at him, Paragus rushes into the line of fire. What Paragus fails to grasp is that the blast was meant for him all along. The attack pierces his heart, dropping him dead on the spot. Broly watches as his father's body falls to the ground, and he feels the restraint on his power start to fall.
My power's rising, overflowing.
Mixed with the emotions of his father's death, he begins to transform into a Super Saiyan and then once again into the legendary form right before Frieza's terrified eyes. He knows exactly what he's dealing with now. The legendary Super Saiyan is standing right in front of him. Frieza frantically uses his final form but quickly comes to terms that even this isn't enough. He uses 100% of his power and rushes towards the Saiyan one more time, but he has no concept of the gap between them. And in no time, Broly avenges his father, hurling a massive energy blast directly at Frieza that obliterates him and shatters planet Namek in the process. The entire rest of the series is going to be shaken up from this. Vegeta, Gohan, Bulma, and Krillin would eventually arrive to where they believe planet Namek is, only to find the planet's debris floating in the vacuum of space, killing any hope of reviving their friends. And now without Paragus to suppress his power, Broly would likely drift through the galaxy, destroying world after world, potentially continuing his rampage until Beerus wakes up to challenge the warrior who took down Frieza. Maybe the Ginyu Force will end up facing him and Ginyu will take control of Broly's body. That is, assuming Broly survived the destruction of Namek. The end of the mission leaves his fate up to the player to decide, but if he could survive the annihilation of planet Vegeta as an infant, surviving Namek's explosion here is well within reason. We take a step away from the serious battles to look at a much lighter custom battle. Deep in sleep, Majin Kuu is confronted by a terrifying voice he has never heard before. Waking from what he thinks is a nightmare, he finds the former Demon King Deborah standing in front of him, demanding his title back. Kuu takes a fighting stance, prepared to fight for the throne, but Deborah doesn't take him seriously and mocks him, sending Kuu into an angry charge. His punches are landing with no force, no damage is being dealt to him, and Deborah criticizes him, claiming a Demon King should never be this weak, and begins his own onslaught of attacks. Lying on the ground, Kuu is ordered to surrender. Become Deborah's servant and fetch him a snack. Kuu starts saying his goodbyes to Du and Aransu, but the word snack brings him back. He remembers his brother's battles in the demon realm, and mimicking exactly what helped Majin do, Majin Kuu pulls out a snack, restoring his full health after he eats it. He is now fully capable of fending off the former Demon King. Deborah is now damaged, shocked and insulted that Kuu would casually eat in the middle of a fight. Now this section features a clever gimmick. You have to eat to deal any damage. The moment the buff wears out, your attack returns to dealing 0 damage, all while managing a level 20 Deborah who aggressively chases you down throughout the map. So managing your skill meters to keep your snack buff active becomes a crucial way of surviving this entire battle. And after a long fight, Deborah finally submits and acknowledges Majin Kuu as the true Demon King. As Kuu celebrates his victory, a sudden force pulls him out of the realm. He wakes back up in his kingdom with Majin Du and Aransu at his side, leaving it ambiguous whether this was an actual mental attempt at taking the throne back or if it's just a fever dream. Is actually a really unique way of leaving the player. Now, I'm not a Daima fan, but the Majins are characters I really do like, so seeing a story for them that feels like a filler journey is enough for me to enjoy it. Plus, I don't get to share lighthearted stories that often on the channel. We're all a bunch of meatheads over here, aren't we? Androids 16, 17, and 18 are flying through the rubble of a destroyed city. The three of them can tell by a distinct energy signature that Dr. Gero has somehow returned. They hunt down their former creator with the twin androids eager for the opportunity to kill him all over again. This time, however, Gero has come prepared with his own army of androids, including a brand new 17 and 18. Android 17 tears into the Doctor the moment he lays his eyes on him, but Gero has made major enhancements to himself, making his cyborg body far more durable. Still, that extra armor means very little to Android 17. Meanwhile, on the battlefield, 16 is in his own fight against a newly constructed 19. though that encounter ends quickly as 16 makes fast work of the machine. We check back in on the rehabilitated androids as they face off against these new counterparts, who now serve Gero hand and foot, much to the disgust of Android 18. Gero orders his new creations to eliminate the old models, forcing both twins to battle versions of themselves. Dark reflections of who they could have easily become if not for the people they met that changed their path. Dr. Gero has no idea just how massive the power gap has become, growing angrier at his miscalculations as both of his new creations are destroyed, but he still has one final ace in the hole. He orders Android 13 to step up from the shadows and execute his commands. 17 refuses to lose to an outdated piece of junk, yet 13 quickly proves to be a far tougher opponent than ever expected. Mid-fight, 13 sets up a sneak attack for Gero to blindside an unsuspecting 17, leaving him heavily damaged. Seeing 17 in trouble, 16 flies in to cut Gero off, blowing the scientist up with his signature move. Now barely clinging to life, Gero begs 13 for help. But this was 13's plan all along. He puts an end to Gero himself and begins absorbing every fallen android on the field. 16, 17, and 18 watch in disbelief as Super Android 13 emerges from this blinding light. 18 steps up first, but her attacks do nothing. This upgraded 13 is far too fast and too powerful, dropping her right from the battlefield with a massive ki blast. At this point, the player is given a choice. Both 16 and 17 are willing to self-destruct to take 13 out, and you have to decide who makes that sacrifice. On my playthrough, Android 17 made the ultimate sacrifice, saving his sister and protecting the planet he once sought to destroy. 18 wakes up where 16 delivers the news of 17's heroics, saving his sister and protecting the planet he was once programmed to conquer. The story finishes with the two remaining androids looking out over the destroyed city skyline, promising that they will avenge Android 17. Pinpointing where this fits in the timeline is very tricky. It feels like an alternative spin on the Dragon Ball FighterZ story, or maybe a new story meant to be set right in between major events of FighterZ. The dialogue restrictions make it hard to spell out directly, but that's the only way I can make sense of 16 being present alongside the Super Era versions of 17 and 18. The creator did a great job showcasing the androids' growth from when they were first introduced in the series here in a very subtle way, and that's why I believe Android 17's sacrifice here felt more natural for the story to go to. Goku has stalled Majin Buu from destroying West City, buying Trunks the time he needs to retrieve the Dragon Radar. But as Goku demonstrates the evolution of Super Saiyans and Buu and Babidi, something strange occurs during the third form's activation. Instead of Super Saiyan 3, the power manifests into Super Saiyan 4. Goku has no idea how this transformation happened, but with this massive burst of strength, he realizes he can eliminate Buu right here. You now have a choice. You could take the easy route by finishing Buu off in Super Saiyan 4, prompting Goku to destroy both Babidi and Buu while maintaining the form, or you can trigger the alternate path. On this route, the sheer energy drain takes a heavy toll on Goku's body, dropping him back down to base form before he can land a finishing blow. Trunks is nowhere near ready with the radar, forcing Goku to buy more time using the Kaioken. This second fight is an absolute nightmare. Goku's health cuts in half the moment the Kaioken is used, but once the buff wears off, Goku will use Kaioken again, meaning you have to defeat Buu as fast as possible before your own health vanishes. Beaten down and running dangerously low on energy, Goku stacks his remaining time on Earth on one final gamble, stacking Kaioken on top of Super Saiyan for Phase 2. Buu hasn't fully recovered from the accumulated damage, and Goku capitalizes on the opening, firing a full power instant transmission Kamehameha. The blast erases Buu, putting an end to the Majin threat, but the effort completely exhausts Goku's time on Earth, sending him straight back to Otherworld. On the lookout, Piccolo and Krillin watch in astonishment as Goku once again finds a way to save the Earth. The universe takes a drastic turn here though. Goku's back in Otherworld, Vegeta remains dead, and Gohan would likely return to upset that he gave up his training and was unable to protect the Earth. Goten and Trunks would probably take their training far more seriously, though they would miss out on learning the fusion dance. If this leads into the Super Timeline, Earth faces a massive crisis. Without Goku and Vegeta around to use God Ki, the planet is on borrowed time unless Gohan and the remaining Z Fighters can power up before Beerus or Frieza show up. And that's everything I have for you guys. Next time on this series, for the start of what feels like a Season 2, we're going to cover another custom battle arc made by creator Teleported Bread for 3 days. I've shown a very brief intro on the channel before, but you don't want to miss the rest of what he's created. You could tell a lot of time and effort was put into shaping this story. But this is where I toss it back to you guys. Which custom battle was your favorite? Are you guys hyped for sparking Neo in a couple days? I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. That's enough for me. I've been your local overanalyzer Artellings, and I hope you have yourself a damn good one.